All right. All right. Let me see. Let's get some more people in here. How many folks we got in here? Damn, we are in here 1,200 deep, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here heavy. We're in here super duper heavy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get Harriet Tubman's pistol in. All right. And then we get James. Then we'll get Cats for Trump. Get Harriet Tubman's pistol.
Peace, power, and reparations. Lineage-based reparations. How you doing, Flex?
I'm good. How you doing,
I'm doing
Tariq?
good, family. I have three quick things. How do you think Barbara Jordan would have been if she was still alive and she was able to become the first authentically Black American freedman woman president of the United States of America?
Well, it would have depended on her policies. Yeah, it just would have depended on whatever policy she came with. Because that's my thing. I'm all about what policies are you going to push. But go ahead.
Agreed. The second thing, real quick, is who you think is going to win the election?
I think Trump is. I think Trump is going to win. I think they're lying about Kamala's numbers. I think her numbers are struggling. The polls, I think they might try to pull a finesse, but I think Trump is going to win because even with this hurricane that's happening and the hurricanes that's happening on the East Coast and how Kamala and those guys are handling it, it's just not a good look. So, but go
Yeah, I
ahead.
think they're going to. I think he's going to win too because they're not handling this the hurricane. They're not handling it good at all. It's just all bad. And the third
Yeah.
thing that I was going to ask if I could please promote this article that I wrote about the GI Bill Restoration Act in your space. It's extremely important. Like it's very important. Like it would give this bill will give Black American and World War II service members and their descendants access to the GI Bill, the VA home loan, and I'm working to make amendments to it where it will also offer $150,000 housing grant to them, also to be given to their descendants.
All right. Post it
Okay,
up. All right.
man,
Keep it
I
posted. Thank, thank you so much. All right, Mr. James. James. Where you at, James? All right, James ain't saying nothing. Let me get you out of here. Let's get let me see. We got a lot of folks. Let's get John. Let's get John Niker in. What's up, John? John. Where you at, man?
Hey, yeah, what's going on, Tariq? How you doing?
I'm good, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I went to the watch. Do you check your Facebook page?
Not that much, but yeah. What about it?
Nah, because I tagged you in this video that I took today when I went to the YMC. Hey, I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the north side is the black side of town. So I was by the YMCA and I went in to get a drink of water and they said I couldn't go in. And I'm like, they like I gotta be a member. I'm like, okay. And to be a member, you have to be 40 years old or you have to be between the grades of first and sixth. So
Damn.
yeah, so I left out and I went back in and I recorded a little bit and then I tagged you in it. But I was asking them like, hey, okay, so what's up? Like, if I got a daughter that's, or a son that's like 15, you can't go in there at all. Out of all the YMCA's in the Twin Cities area is like 20 of them. Only one of them has that rule, and that's in the black community. You cannot go in with
Wow.
YMCA.
All right, well, I gotta look at your video and see what's going on with that. That sounds real weird, and it's always some weird stuff going on at the YMCA. By the way, Miss Ed,
Hey, what's up, Tariq? This Miss Eddings, like the word weddings without the W. How you doing, sir?
how you doing,
I'm
Miss
good.
Eddings?
I'm good. Listen, I just wanted to ask you, did you hear that Project 2025 was pushing for Kamala to win?
Yeah, somebody connected with Project 2025 was pushing for Kamala. That's what's funny when they call up talking about, "Ooh, Trump is gonna get you," and some of the people connected with Project 25 is rolling with Kamala's ass, which is hilarious. So yeah, I did see that. Let's get what's your name? Spice. You got a dog with a do rag on it. So, all right. I think your name is Spice. What's
It's
up, Spice?
space.
Space. What's going on,
What's
Space?
going on, brother? I just got a question for you. This I'm not really trolling, but I'm black and Puerto Rican. Like, what's your takes on that?
Well, damn, you're black and Puerto Rican.
But
That's you're admitting what you
that's
are.
not like FBA though, right?
It depends because when y'all say black and something, now where's you? Do you know where your dad is from?
My dad is Puerto Rican.
Okay, but your mother, where's she from?
Mom, like, what you mean? Where she from?
Okay, well, this is what we're talking about. See, when people don't know, when y'all don't have a clear answer where your mama's from,
Alabama, Brooklyn. My mom from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay, where?
Her father, her family and stuff is from Alabama.
Okay, so your
My grandparents
grandparents.
from Alabama.
Have you been down to
I
Alabama?
never been to Alabama now,
How do you not know your
cause they
grandparents?
died.
When did they die?
I never met my grandparents.
So you never met your mother's parents?
Nah,
Ah, they died before you were born? I
type
mean,
shit.
shit.
Yeah, I'm just curious about your logic with that. Like,
Hold on, no, because see, when it's get this little shit right here, it don't sound right. You ain't got no. If your family is from Alabama, your mama would go down there at one point and take you. How come you have not been down to Alabama to your mama's family? That makes zero sense as a foundational Black American, sir. That zero sense. Why wouldn't your mother take you to Alabama?
I have no idea why she would not take me to Alabama. I've been to Virginia.
Most likely she ain't from Alabama. Most likely she ain't from Alabama then, bro.
I mean,
Your mama's probably from Trinidad
my
somewhere. Your
mom,
mama's
nah, nah,
probably
nah, 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 nah. You bugging, bro. She not from Trinidad, bro.
yeah, yeah, he ain't from
She from
Alabama.
Alabama, bro. Her dad is from Alabama. Her mom is from Alabama. My aunt lives in Virginia. Like,
Sir, black folks, we visit each other. Foundational Black Americans, we're not disconnected from each other. Now, immigrants, they don't really reunite with each other. They don't have family reunions and none of that stuff. They don't know who their relatives are in countries, so they stay in one little enclave. Foundational Black Americans, we don't live like immigrants where we just stay in one little enclave. We are connected with our family members all over the country, especially if they're in the South. My family is in Alabama.
all right. So I got a bunch.
My
I
mother's
got a bunch of friends in Queens in the projects I grew up in. They ain't never been down south to visit their family, and they black. They full black. They not foundational black Americans because they never visit their family in the south, and they don't know about the
but
stuff in the south.
I don't know. I would have to talk to them, but I'm not talking to them right now. I would have to hear what's going on with them. I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you, sir. And the fact that you've never been in the South, you've never been to where your mother's
Makes me
people are.
Trinidadian.
Yeah, it makes you something other than a non-F. It makes you a non-FBA.
Uh,
That means you most likely don't have a foundational Black American background. That's not a bad thing, sir. I'm just saying. It doesn't sound like you have a foundational Black American background. It's not an insult. Why do y'all take that
nah,
as an
I
insult? If
don't
you're not
really,
a
I'm not taking it as an insult. Honestly,
it's not an insult. You come from a different background than us,
I
sir.
know that my mom is black. I know I'm not Jamaican. I know I'm not Trinidadian. I know, like, I know that
How do you don't even know the family? So how would you know? If this is what I'm saying. If you ain't even been around the family, how do you know?
because my mom knows, my aunt knows. Uh, like they know. My mom knows where her father comes from. My mom knows that her father's from Alabama. Just like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, it sounds funny style, bro. It sounds too up in the air. And we as foundational Black Americans, we're connected with our families, man. We know who's who. And if we got some people down south, we know who they are. And your mama's gonna tell you. Your mama's gonna know. Your mama would have sat you down and told you, gave you some more clarity. Where's your mom?
What you mean with my mom?
Is she still
Yeah, she's
alive?
still alive.
Do you still talk
I
to her?
talk to my mom every day, B.
Okay. How come she hadn't sat you down and told you about your family?
I mean, maybe she don't know her family. I really don't know.
Okay, then that don't make no
I
sense.
really, everybody,
I found it.
everybody's not as connected to their family, and just because they're not connected to their family
Yeah,
doesn't mean that they fucking Trinidadian and shit.
and then they something else because we even if we don't like our family members, we know about them. We know something. Your mama is gonna tell you something about somebody in the family. We know our family members. We're connected with them somehow, some way. We're just not going to be completely in the dark about our family. That's just that right there kind of gives the impression that you're just not from a Black American background. Yeah, Puerto Rican side. Your dad. Is your dad still around?
He like alive or like around?
I mean, is he
He's alive.
alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay, right. But from your answer, it doesn't sound like he's around. Has he ever been around?
Not really like that, nah.
Oh, okay. And I know you're not connected with none of the people in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
I'm not connected with nobody in Puerto Rico.
Oh, but I bet you got a Puerto Rican flag somewhere in
I
that
ain't
damn
got no
house, don't
Puerto
you?
Rican flag in this motherfucking house, my boy.
I bet you, nigga, I bet you got a Fat Joe
I ain't
CD
got no
in your
fucking
player.
Fat
Right?
Joe CD in this motherfucking nigga. Ain't none of
You got Fat
that.
Joe.
I ain't got
You got
no
a Fat
Fat
Joe.
Joe.
You got a Fat Joe CD
I ain't got
and a
no
and a
Fat Joe
and a
CD in this motherfucking crib, nigga.
and an empanada, nigga.
Hell
You
no,
eating
you
an
bugging the
empanada
fuck
and
out.
playing Fat
You
Joe.
bugging the fuck out, nigga. That's what I'm saying though, like, cause I ain't gonna lie.
Nigga, let's keep it real. Keep it real. You got a J Lo album on your
Nah,
wall right
bro, I ain't
now.
got no J Lo album. Nigga, I grew up to like Anita Baker. Nigga, I grew up to all the black shit, bro. Like, my mom's is black, bro. My mom, I grew up. My mom's teaching me about Black Panthers and like my mom's told me I was black growing up. She never told me like, like you know what I'm saying. Like my experience is black.
Ask your mom. Yeah, you need to talk to your mom. Ask your mom y'all's family background because it might be something else. Because if y'all ain't connected to the Alabama folks, it might be something else foreign going on. So kind of ask your mom about the family background because your mom should know something. You understand? And again, you might
But something like
I
what
just
though? Like I told you, she from Alabama. Her family from Alabama. What more? Like what more? You saying because I didn't visit them? Like she don't go visit them. Nobody go like I don't know. Families be big, bro. My majority of my family is out here now in New York now, like in Bronx,
yeah.
Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like I got an aunt that live in Virginia, but aside from that, like most of my family in New York. So
There it is. All right, brother. Well, there it is. But tell your mom I said hi. All right, there you go. These people who don't have no connections to their families and you don't know, I don't know. That seems strange, man. That seems strange. Sophia, what's up, dear?
Yes, I finally got up here. I'm usually
What's up?
I'm usually asleep when you come on because it's so late. No, so
Oh
to
yeah,
piggyback
yeah,
what you were saying about the whole family thing, my mom really had a little bit of beef, not really beef, but a little bit of disconnect with the family, some family stuff going on, and we still went down to Mississippi. My mom's from Mississippi. My dad still took her down to Mississippi to follow to visit and stuff. I met my great grandmother and other family members. So you're absolutely right. There will be some
yeah.
type of connection. And to piggyback what this one guy said a couple of nights ago, talk about some, well, the grandkids need to get the reparation. Dude, we are the fucking grandkids. Give us our money.
Right.
We're the grandkids.
Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
yes, nice talking to you.
Thank you, dear. Yes, indeed. Man. We are in here. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Listen, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com to get the book Hidden Heroes from A to Z. That's a phenomenal children's book, ladies and gentlemen. Hidden Heroes from A to Z. Phenomenal children's book. We are in here heavy. We got 1,200 people in here. We got a lot of folks in here. Get your Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com. Ladies and gentlemen, rootworkstyle.com. That's where you can get the Rootwork deodorant. All right. Should we get another call? Should we get some more? Y'all want to keep chopping it up? Should we get one more good one? Should we get one more good one? Let's get Scott Low Key. Let's get Scott Low Key in the building. Scott Low Key.
Yo, yo, what's up, man? I just wanted to tell you, I wanted to correct you real quick. I'm from New Orleans, Jeremy, but not everybody connected to their family, man. Where I'm from, my mother became a pharmacist. The rest of the family was uptown Magnolia niggas. I wasn't even allowed to visit them. On my father's
Mm.
side, the only thing they cared about was money. My daddy died. My grandma took my inheritance. I never even met my grandmother that stays in Chicago. And I'll wrap it all up by saying, I remember you came down here and you ate in the French Quarter. And as you say, I thought that was funny style. I didn't think that was, real foundational. Cause we don't do that. So why did you go eat in the French Quarter, brother?
I ate in the French Quarters, and I ate several places out there in New Orleans. I ate in the French Quarters because that's a popular place to eat,
Not for us.
and I ate. Yeah, yeah, and look, I had the people tell me, "Oh, don't eat in the quarters, baby." Look, they told me eat at the other spots. I ate at several other spots, but yeah, I ate at the quarters because it was popping down there, especially late at night. Me and my lady went to some spots out there late at night. Wasn't nothing else really open except stuff in the quarters. So that ain't got nothing to do with the damn lineage. That's what people eat. That's a tourist attraction. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go where things are
Uh,
popping, and I'm gonna go to other places too. I go to people's houses out there. Shit, I go everywhere out there. So
it-
yeah, nigga, I went to I was up in the quarters. I ate regularly at Manchus in the fucking hood with crackheads walking around.
okay, okay,
So yeah,
so you went to Manchu. It make me
hell
feel
yeah.
better because I just hate to see a real player get finessed like that in the French quarters like that. That shit really hurt my
No, no,
soul. But you went to Manchu,
no,
you
no, no.
good, you good, you good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I'm gonna go to all of the spots, the tourist attraction, the hood spots, the mom and pop spots. So I went all over in eight and enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed all of it. The French Quarter stuff was the stuff outside of the quarters was better. So yeah, so I feel it. But I feel where you're coming from as far as the family and some of the griminess that goes on. But thank you so much. But the thing is, look, the thing is, even if you got grimy family members, even if you got grimy family members, which we got, everybody got some grimy family members. You still know about the family. You're still connected to them. You still correspond with them to a certain degree. You still know the family story, even if you don't rock with them. You know, May May is Shay Shay's cousin. You know that. You know the genealogy. This ain't about you just liking your family members. It's all about just knowing the genealogy. So the person you don't like, you know whose son they are, you know whose daughter they are, you know whose grandma they are. That's Aunt Kathy's ex-husband, Mr. Randall. Wendell Jenkins is Miss Bessie's husband. You know that part of the game. That's what I'm saying. That's what we know as foundational Black Americans. We know the basic genealogy of the people in our family. It ain't, well, I don't know. I don't know who my grandmama is. I don't know. It's not that. Yeah? We have a general understanding of who's who in the family. And even if we don't like them, we still connect with some of them. Yeah, for the most part. What's up, Cats for Trump? Cats for Trump. Hop on. Wait, hold on. Let me let you back on. For some reason, you got Cats for Trump. What's happening? Cats for
Hi,
Trump.
Mr. Tariq. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you, Cats
I'm
for
good.
Trump?
I had a question for you. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Um, my background is I'm Persian. It's an antiquated term. My family's from Iran. We emigrated to
Right.
the states in the 80s, and I grew up in California in the 90s. And back in the day, probably aged myself, but we used to use AOL, and there used to be the message boards. And I got into a discussion with a lady. She was a sister, and she was telling me about her involvement in the civil rights movement and stuff. And she had, I was ignorant back then. I admit I was sort of bigoted, kind of had a chip on my shoulder, and I had, mentioned some of the stuff that you had talked about, and as far as taking credit for things that maybe we shouldn't have been taking credit for. But she was trying to educate me about, she didn't use the term foundational black. I admit she didn't use that term, but I think she was talking about some of the things you're talking about. But this was 20 years ago and so forth. But she had mentioned that she had really felt hurt by some of the comments I had made, because her involvement in the civil rights movement and getting things for, I mean, obviously she was doing it for the African American community or the black community, but she felt that a lot of minorities had benefited from it, and she didn't appreciate some of my comments, some of my bigoted, ignorant comments, and she had kind of tried to lecture me and educate me about the sacrifices that were made before my people had come to the States. And
Okay.
one of those things was that the sacrifices and, really the pain and the suffering that they had gone through, so that minorities like me, could benefit from that, from those civil rights movement, and that we were not
Right.
appreciative of it. And one thing she had said that now years later I understand, and I had brought up myself, was that, obviously there's a lot of racism, obviously, historically, in the whites. But I felt, just, kind of remembering the words that and some of the things that she had used, that there's so much racism from people that came long after. So I admitted, I think, in a conversation with my family, and they weren't very happy about it, that there's a lot of racism towards blacks from the Persian community, from the Iranian community. I grew up in Los
Hmm.
Angeles, and there was a lot of Korean Asian businesses in Compton, Los Angeles, Long Beach area, where I grew up. But there was not a single, I never remembered seeing a single black employee at any of those businesses. So they would open up the businesses in those black communities, but they would never hire anybody from the community. I personally know, just from conversations with family members, it was always, they voted Democrat. They said all this stuff about unity, and against racism and stuff. But I know within the Persian community, within the Middle Eastern community, there's a tremendous amount of racism, towards blacks. And of course, years later, 20 years ago I was part of that, but years later, of course, learning from that, and learning from that experience, what is your thoughts about that? And I wanted to get your thought about that. Is, do you feel like the focus is too much just from racism from the white community, and not enough is being, um, kind of centered, that in my opinion, that a lot of minorities that have come after, the blacks and so forth, are just as racist, if not more so, than the whites, I feel like, in my opinion. And I feel like they get
Yeah.
away with it because they consider themselves minorities. But tremendous amount of racism in the Korean community, in the Vietnamese community, in the Persian community, in the even in the Arab community. And I feel like they get away with that racism and the undertones of the bigotry, because they count themselves as minority, and they feel like they can get away with it. Now, uh, I grant you, they don't.
Okay. Let me answer. Let me answer because you're bringing up some good points, and let me answer that. Yeah, that is true. Part of these other groups, when they come here, some of these non-black, non-white groups, when they come here, after we foundational Black Americans were the ones helping them get here, we've always been the ones fighting to help them get here. Once they get here, they want to have a closer proximity to whiteness. And part of that proximity is for them to adopt the same anti Black sentiments as the white supremacists. So they will come over here to impress their white buddies, having more anti Black vitriol than them. And then, speaking of the Persians, they come over here, and what they do, the first thing they do, Persians get nose jobs and bleached hair, especially them Persian women. The Persian women are very good at that. They get that skinny nose and that bleach blonde hair. And they try to look like an old Baywatch beauty, looking like Pamela Anderson or Farrah Fawcett and some shit. So we have to deal with that too. And then they'll hide behind, yeah, I'm a minority just like you. So how can I be racist? So they practice the same anti-black racism, and we're used to it. So now, what's interesting, we get a lot of the people from the Middle East who come here because over there they're generally pretty cool, but when they get here, that's when they get funny style. And then what's interesting, when something goes on in the Middle East, they want us, foundational Black Americans, to start stumping for them and start making noise and being in solidarity with them. That's the rub. Just like with the whole thing over in Palestine and Israel, everybody's looking to us to come up here and put the capes on for everybody. And we're like, no, we're good because y'all were acting funny style towards us the whole time. Now that there's a conflict between all of you people, go ahead and handle your business. Don't come looking to us, handle your business because we're handling ours. So we have to deal with racism and anti Blackness coming from all of these other groups who are trying to be in close proximity to the white supremacists. And what happens is when the white supremacists turn on them, we're the main ones they look to, just like with the Asians. They did this whole thing with removing affirmative action from colleges, race-based affirmative action, getting it removed by saying that, oh, it's the black people who's getting all of these affirmative action benefits. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. They got the racial quotas removed, and then all of a sudden the Asian numbers started dropping in college admissions, and now they want to cry racism. Don't come to us. We see this all across the board. We see some of these anti-black racists coming in from South America. Now that people are talking about deporting them, they want to look to us. No, no, no. Go ahead and go handle your business. So that's what it is. We have to deal with anti-black racism, and all of these other groups are pretty fine with it until the white supremacists turn on them. And when the white supremacists turn on them, then they want to have some kind of fake solidarity. When the 9/11 thing happened, a lot of the Middle Easterners wanted to join hands with black folks all of a sudden because they got on the hot seat. They started stereotyping Middle Easterners after 9/11. So all of a sudden, hey man, Dr. Martin Luther King, hey, Dr. King, whatever. So, the universe corrects itself. The universe has a way of correcting itself. So, if people did the right thing, you wouldn't have to live in fear. We, foundational Black Americans, we've always done the right thing. That's why we're very comfortable with who we are and what our lineage is. And this is why we are focusing on our lineage right now. So, we ain't doing the minority thing, we ain't doing the people of color thing. We're all about foundational Black American lineage business. And if there's some allies who want to show and prove, then show and prove, but you gotta show and prove. That makes sense?
Yes,
Cash
yes,
for
sir.
Trump?
Sorry, I was muted. I thought I was muted. I know I agree with everything you're saying, and that was my main question, is because I wanted to know what your thoughts that not just the Persian community, but what your thoughts that the Asian community and the Persian community and some of these Middle Eastern communities and other minorities who have taken, in my opinion, advantage of the sacrifices of Black folks in this country. Um, um we really have not just benefited from it but taken advantage of it. A lot of, like you said, a
Yeah,
lot of the affirmative action stuff that was qualified for blacks. I can tell you, growing up as a Persian, that I was encouraged to write down that I was a minority so I could qualify for things that that I honestly probably shouldn't have qualified for, just my opinion. And your point about
yeah,
the blonde hair, I wore contacts in high school. I bleached my hair. I would go down to Huntington Beach to go surf and to try to look more white. There is a certain, with, I will say, with this specific with Persians, this is just my perspective on it. With specifically with Persians, the country Iran, in our language, stands for Aryan, and so there's a
right.
certain personal connection that the Persians try to have to that Aryan heritage, that that maybe so much the Semites, the Arabs and the Jews maybe can't claim, but I know that there's a chip on the shoulder of Persians who claim themselves to be Aryan. So there is that that kind of that urge to have a more Western, white, Aryan-looking features. Nose jobs, contacts, hair coloring.
Oh,
That's so you're 100% right about that. But anyway, it was just something that I wanted to come speak about because it really is something that has bothered me. That it's not to again to take away what the racism that has been committed by white folks in this country, but that the acknowledgement that a lot of us minorities have benefited from the foundational work that the Black community has done for racism and justice, and we've benefited from that. But in my opinion, as much as we've benefited from it, we've turned around and shitted, excuse my language, but we shitted on the people that were there, essentially fighting off the dogs and the batons and essentially the assassinations and all that stuff that has happened. So
right,
anyway, that was just
right.
my thoughts on it. I appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And our thing is, we cool on all that now. Yeah, it's a whole new day. Yeah, we being the sacrificial lambs for everybody. We ain't rolling with that no more. Yeah, yeah, we're using that energy for ourselves. That's what we're doing. But yeah, a lot of those Persian cats, they come over here, and boy, the women get them nose jobs. LA is full of them. Them bleach blonde Persian women with them tiny ass Latoya Jackson noses, running around here trying to look as Anglo as they can. Them noses be looking crazy. But that bleach blonde hair, they be Middle Eastern as hell. And the dudes be doing the same thing. And the dudes be trying to pass themselves off as Italians. That's their thing. The Persian dudes be trying to act like they're Italian. It's real funny style. Yeah. That's why us foundational Black Americans, we're the only group that's really 100% comfortable collectively. We're very comfortable with who we are. That's why we have a certain level of confidence. We're pretty comfortable with who we are as a group. And other people try to project their insecurities onto us by trying to turn us into generic Africans. That's why that's that whole thing, this whole desire to make us into generic Africans. Oh, y'all from Africa somewhere. Just like, well, Crackified Cat tried to do that. The white supremacists try to do that too. Yeah, they always try to make us into these generic ass Africans. Well, no. We're a very specific, unique lineage group. We are indigenous to the United States, the country that we built from scratch so that brokies like Beth and Crackified Cat can come over here and eat. So they won't be over there in Ireland fighting each other over a damn potato. Jay Trigger, what's up,
Hey,
man?
what's going on, man? So I come from a school of thought that all form of supremacy is evil, no matter who's doing it.
It ain't all
All
forms.
all
It's
forms all forms,
no
right? So like
no such
white
thing as all
white
forms.
supremacy is evil, black supremacy is evil.
Stop. You just contradicted yourself, Jay Trigger. All right, we're going to stop. We're going to slow walk this. You just contradicted yourself. Do you know that? You know you
All
just
right, are you
contradicted
gonna are you
yourself?
gonna let me finish my point or
No, no, I'm not. God damn it! I'm muting your ass because you're going to stop and acknowledge your contradiction. I'm not going to let you just babble. No, I'm not going to let you finish. You're going to stop and acknowledge that you just contradicted yourself. You cannot have white supremacy and black supremacy. That's a
how
contradiction.
is it
It's an
how is it
oxymoron.
not a contradiction? How is black
Because
supremacy
by
not a
definition,
contradiction? Is it
it's
literally?
about okay. Hey, yo, whoa, you a chatty little patty, aren't you, buddy? You are triggered, aren't you, Jay? Oh, let's slow down, low clown. Let's slow it down. Okay, you're a chatty little patty. We're going to have you slow it down, Jay. Let me give you the ground rules here, okay? This is late night tap in with Tariq Nasheed, okay? All right, you can leave. He left. Okay, that's fine. But you're not going to come in here and just start rambling. All right, that's not what this is. You're not going to come in here rambling, J Trigger. This ain't the J Trigger chatty patty hour. No. You're not going to run in here talking about black supremacy and white supremacy. You just contradicted yourself. By definition, supreme means end all be all, one only. There can only be one supreme. You cannot have multiple supremes. You're coming in with a bad premise. That's why I'm stopping you. So I don't want you to even go further. If your premise is faulty, everything else you say is going to be gibberish. There is no black supremacy. By definition, it is an oxymoron. Two things, by definition, cannot be supreme. If there is white supremacy, by logic, there cannot be black supremacy. See, we got to understand words and how words work. There's only one form of racial supremacy that's practiced globally. That is systematic white supremacy. There is no black supremacy practiced anywhere. Nowhere are black people racially supreme over people where they're dominating and controlling people. The only people who do that are the white supremacists. They are dominating and controlling based on race. There's only one supremacy racially, that's white supremacy. That's either the truth or not the truth. Everything else is babble. All right? Come on now. We in here heavy. We're in here heavy. All right. Let's get Wolf. Let's get Wolf in the building. Mr. Wolf, what's happening? Mr. Wolf, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Tariq? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, Wolf.
I'm
How
all
are
right. I
you?
don't know if you can hear me too good. I got my beats on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you pretty good. Wait, what city you in,
Well,
Wolf?
I'm in Baltimore. From Baltimore.
All right, what's on your mind,
I
brother?
gotta. I want to know what's the best way to look up your family history, and what's the best possible way to do that?
Well, there's different apps to do it. There's ancestry.com. That's a good start. And there's, I think there's more detailed um, um, genealogist companies that you can go to. But, I would start on the simple ones, Ancestry. I think 23andMe, they're about to go out of business, so I wouldn't really recommend them. But ancestry.com is a real good one. All right. Let me see. All right. Anyway, let me get out. I'll be on here all night, man. Listen, let me get out of here. It's been real, family. I got to get to working on this book about the spirit of Majara. I got a great book coming out, family, man. This book I want to have it out by December. That's why I'm writing my ass off, getting this book ready. I want to have it ready by December. Talking about the ethnogenesis that we had and the spiritual ethnogenesis, because we had a major spiritual ethnogenesis as foundational Black Americans. We had a major spiritual ethnogenesis, and that spiritual energy really needs to be recognized and clearly defined, because we're very unique and we are recognizing our uniqueness, and we need to recognize our spiritual uniqueness and not let people project all this stuff onto us. See, that's why it's very important for us to get everything defined the way it needs to be defined, because people will always try to project their stuff and their insecurities and their filth on foundational Black Americans. And we have to stop letting people do that. And you do that by defining everything, just like us defining what our lineage is. So now when people try to impose, well, you're from West Africa, well, you're Bantu, where you're some, no, we've already defined exactly who we are. None of that shit you saying is going to work. We ain't none of that. We're not letting you try to define us with some stuff that we don't know anything about. That ain't gonna work. We've already defined us on our own terms based on logic. That's what we've done. And that's where you get your strength from, family. That's where you get your power. Defining things on your own terms, where it makes sense and it empowers you. See, we sit up here and let all these people tell us that we're minorities and we're people of color. We're DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. We let folks play that game on us, and then it trips us up at the end. We got to stop letting folks do that. That's why look how many people in this room. We got a lot of people in here, and a great number of them don't like the fact that we've delineated, because they benefit off of us being the all-inclusive people. They benefit off that. So us being in a position where we're saying we're not going to be on this all-inclusive nonsense, where we're sacrificing ourselves for everybody, and it's time for you to start putting in some damn work. Oh, they don't really like that too much. They ain't too crazy about that. Yeah. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me get up out of here. Everybody say goodbye to Crackified Carl, Bigoted Beth. Um, Shout out to everybody in the room. Again, go to microphonecheck.com to get the film Microphone Check. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Give a contribution to the Hidden History Museum and get books and all that good stuff. And I'm going to holler. Papi Akute, Lola Vue to the family. Peace.
We don't know the beginnings of rap, because as long as our music has been recording, people have been rapping.
The disco DJs separated themselves from us. We were the next generation coming up with this thing, and they was like, what's this little hippity hop thing?
The first time I heard somebody spit a 16 over a break beat was probably Melly Mel.
The Melly Mel sound that you hear today, I got that sound from Hollywood.
I was doing this same form of entertainment long before it had a name.
A lot of the gangs were fading out by the time hip hop came in. A lot of those gangs turned into crews.
As far as influencing hip hop, I saw no Puerto Rican or Jamaican influences whatsoever.
I started breakdancing in the 70s.
When rap and hip hop was all black, it was negative. Now that it became a big phenomenon and corporately acceptable, now there's this need to take foundational black Americans out of the creation of it and give it away to other people. And it's important for us to set the record straight.